What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Shelty. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. The map is Oasis. This is game number 5 for this semi-final. What a great series we've had so far. So many close, clutch games from both of these players. This is the semi-finals, as I've said, and next win. It's basically a best of one now. We're into a best of one. Whoever wins this game goes on to the finals. Whoever loses this game goes on to the 3rd/4th place thing. They go 3rd/4th place. And feel funky fresh, feeling great, feeling wonderful. We got a Ra versus Odin. We got Kimo swapping into his Ra. He played 5 different gods. He played Hades, Set, Isis, Hades, and now Ra. Played 2 Hades, right? Could be wrong. Can't remember. Anyways. Shelty also changing gods, is swapping away from his Thor, going in with the Odin. He has got a bit of a rough spawn here. Oh. Is this 1 zebra spawn? No, it's 2 zebra spawn. Maybe he's already finished his first zebra? Got no idea. Or it got cut off, one of the two. This is the worst case scenario for Shelty. He's found his it looks like he's gonna be finding his giraffe over here. He's gonna move over to them, yes. But it's 2 giraffe, 2 zebra, but it makes me feel like he's only had 1 zebra here given how fast he ate it. But so is Kimo. So Kimo hasn't actually found his own giraffe. He's going for the husbandry build. This one's been fairly popular recently. Oop, ox cart forgot to be brought over. Now he's going to send it. It's probably not going to make it in time here. It's the ox cart coming up. Villagers dumping their resources into it. There is some monkey here. So this map has actually a little bit more hump than you otherwise would have thought. And there's also the monkey over here as well. Look at this. 700 food and 1400 food. Tons of goat on the map to be casting Great Hunt with. Surprised to see no Great Hunt on the giraffe, to be honest. Obviously, it looks like Shelty wanted to grab all of the goat he possibly could, so he could hunt, so he could Great Hunt those. But it's looking as if the Pharaoh is scouting very nicely. We see 6 goat for Kimo though, so really not that many, to be honest, considering how much Kimo scouted. If we check this out, he's coming all the way down to this corner, circles back, all the way over to this corner, comes back. Surprised he didn't go through the middle though, because that's where all the goats actually are. Actually, quite a few of them, to be honest. But Shelty will be sending them home and then probably Great Hunting them when they're there. Now, one thing you might want to consider doing in this situation here is bringing some of these gold villages off of gold onto food if you need to advance. But it's looking like a 5-minute advance for Shelty and a 5+ minute advance for Kimo. Whoa. Okay, I was like, Kimo's got no food in the bag, but all these villagers have probably got 20 food or so in their hands. So the temple will finish, and then he'll be able to advance after that. He'll try and rush a second talent center, and we'll see if Shelty is going to allow him. I wouldn't mind to see like a wall on this side. Just throw that up right now. And maybe with this other Wolfsark, wall off the other one, just to force Kimo to stay 1 talent center. Now the villagers returning home. Still haven't seen the Great Hunt just yet. Obviously waiting for the rest of these goat to come in. But at this stage, these goat are all 100 food plus. So he's only going to get 6 of them. You really want to cast that Great Hunt in the first couple of minutes of the game on the goat to get the maximum amount of them as possible. And there's the wall coming up. I love this wall from Shelty. Denying this town center will be really, really good. We'll see if we can do it. Now the Ravens moving over here. There's the Freya for Shelty finishing this wall off. He needs to wall off over here as well. Let's check out what he knows. He sees it's open here, so he'll probably move over and do that. The Ravens getting pushed back away from the town center, checking out the home base of Kimo. We'll see how Shelty's going to manage this. If he is going to be able to deny super late advance time from Kimo. The villagers are already making their way over here, though. There's a forward longhouse for Shelty. And only one. And his unit's very far away from this location. It does look like Kimo's deciding against coming over here as the wall is up. He could have gone onto it, though. But not happy with that one. Now the villagers are going to move up to this town center here. Grabbing this town center with a wall and some military buildings here. Or some armory or something. He's going to be able to secure this gold mine. So this town center is significantly better. We are seeing a second town center coming up for Shelty here. So I like that player as the Valkyrie coming in. We've got the armory is going up and possibly going to be losing that villager. Nope. Good. Good towers here for Kimo. Now the Valkyrie retreating back here. Nice play from Shelty, but he didn't really get much out of it. Just lost a lot of HP. Town center is on the way for Shelty, for Kimo. He's going to be able to spam farms out everywhere. We've got 6 farms coming up, 7 farms, and then the farms up in the home base as well. Kimo just about to run out of gold, though. So we'll see if Shelty can actually get a gold starve or something. The town center is coming up as well for Shelty. We'll see how this is going to go. If he's got enough goat here for him to boom up to his rag and then possibly get a gold starve. But this is such a good gold mine here for Kimo. I'm not sure what Shelty can do to push off this. He should be able to control the corners of the map, get all the walls up, and maybe try and play it similarly to how like Matrius would play the Poseidon matchup here. We see the Shifting Sands coming in here. Stealing some goat. That's funny. I love it. Nice play from Kimo. Suiciding the Wadget for 6 goat that he's probably not going to eat, but just to keep them away from Shelty. That's going to hurt so much because Shelty's now going to have to farm transition. He can get onto the backside of the rain, though, if he wants to start throwing up some farms right away. Looks like he's not going to be going for it. Longhouse is coming down now for Shelty. Right in the front of this location. Not sure exactly what his plan is here. But it will give him a strong avenue to attack this gold mine here. Starting to see a villager jabbing his way very slowly through this gate. The Ulfsark will be able to push that one back. I'm not building units out of here just yet. Shelty's got tons of gold in the bank. Farms are coming up. Do we see Plow? Plow is on the way now for Shelty. He's only got 5-6 villages. He's got a ton of villages on wood, actually, so he will be able to spam those farms out very, very quickly. And I'm honestly not 100% sure what Shelty's doing. I'm surprised Shelty didn't eat these monkeys. I don't understand why he didn't. Because there's monkeys here as well. He knows they're here. 1,400 food. As Norse, monkeys are really, really good because normally monkeys are bad. If you play Egyptian or Greek, monkeys are kind of bad to go to because your granary goes down and the monkeys get shot at and the monkeys end up being over here and the walking time is huge. But with Norse, you just kill one at a time and you just move the ox cart around. You get so much more hunt here and it's in such a better position. But Shelty doesn't go for it and now he's having to farm. And honestly, like a locust on those farms here of Shelty's is going to hurt just as much as as anywhere else. And we see the third talent center coming up for Shelty. Going for a big boom in this final game. See how that's going to work. But I can imagine Kimo's going to hit some sort of a Mythic Age timing here. Very, very late Heroic Age from Kimo. But due to the low hunt, I don't think it's going to matter all that much. We see Bowsaw coming through. Kimo loves his Bowsaw, but I think he's just going to immediately grab Carpenter's Archer. At least that's what he should do. Now the Patsukos are coming forward. We've got the second monument up for Kimo as well, so he can spam out myth units or upgrades, whatever he wants to do. Now the third town center coming up for Kimo as well. Shelty not going to be able to deny that. We see the armory coming up as well. As more villagers need to start farming. The big problem here for Shelty, in that he's had to farm so early, is that he's only on plow. And his opponent, Kimo, should be thinking about getting irrigation here immediately, but he hasn't just yet. We see Quarry coming through. Bowsaw as well. And Kimo is simply just... Kimo is basically just doing fundamentals here. This is fundamentals 1600 to 1700. Every single upgrade first, and then military, and then we go. And we feel great about ourselves. Now we see the Valkyrie coming back in. Finally helping out. Forcing Kimo back home. If we check out the economic upgrades for Shelty, he's actually able to get to Skadi here. So it's not a bad Heroic Age. It's not a good Heroic Age. He should have been Heroic in about 10 minutes. And now, will we start to see some military units getting built for Shelty? He needs to build some houses as well. There is a housing crisis. These villagers coming over here to get the farms. There's irrigation coming through for Kimo. Just every single economic upgrade under the sun. His economy is going to be so ginormous. Now the throwing axemen going to get these houses up. It's also leaving the Thundercloud Shoal here. These Hersa seemingly losing their lives. The Rock's searching for something to hit over here, but not going to find it just yet. Starting to see some throwing axemen getting built. I'm very confused as to why we're seeing throwing axemen. Probably be better to just keep spamming those farms out and building raiding cavalry. Or Ulfsark. Raiding cavalry and Ulfsark, I guess. These units for Shelty getting shut down very, very quickly, but nice distraction. Frost now available for Shelty. The house is pumping out as well. Now we see the Patsukos going to start raiding Shelty's gold villages. He can use Locust on this if he wants to. Though I think a Locust over here will probably guarantee more value. We see the dwarves starting to split away. Patsukos is just happily getting that damage done. Chariot Archers moving forward, going to try and snipe some of these throwing axemen over here. And Kimo retreating back, but he's in such a commanding position. We see the throwing axemen pop out here. Now the Chariot Archers can take these down. There's the Carpenters I was talking about. And Kimo just about to be able to click up to the Mythic Age. This is going to be like a 1430 Mythic Age every single upgrade. No, 1415 Mythic Age every single economic upgrade. And full population. He's short a house. As the house is slowly coming up. This is such beautiful play from Kimo. Just wish that maybe Shelty would have done the same and grabbed these baboons up here, these monkeys. He's going for the gold mine instead. Now Kimo going to move in, try and hit these villages here. Frost Giant coming over, going to start killing off the cavalry. Dwarves getting sniped over here. Nice rock usage now. Going to pick up the cavalry and drop that into, drop that past this wooden wall here, I think. Oh, one cavalry getting a little bit stuck. All longhouses coming out. Kimo getting a little bit confused where he wants to go here. Did we see any upgrades just yet? No. No winter harvest here for Shelty. Looks like he's spamming out the Frost Giant, throwing up the market, looking like he's just simply going to go for a Ragnarok. And Kimo is starting to do what Kimo does best. The Kimo walls. 2 layers. 2 layers. This layer here is not as good. I think all of that wall just dies if one of the walls dies. Cavalry still looking for something. We still haven't seen a locust. Will we see the locust coming in? There it is. Big locust hitting a lot of those villages. A lot of low HP villages. Only a couple do die though. So nice play from Shelter to keep the majority of those alive. See Son of Osiris coming down as well. Balder is on the way for Shelty though. He's about 1:30 behind Kimo, and he's super far behind on the economy. And Shelty and Kimo's now going to just start making those watchtowers, getting guard towers, stone walls coming up as well. There is this gold mine here with 3,000 left in it. Kimo should just spam out a bunch of barracks now as well. Like, it's super clear what Shelty's going for here. He hasn't disguised it at all. And now Kimo is just like, yeah, no worries. I'm just going to completely counter it. And there's the barracks starting to come down. More towers coming up. I'd love to see some towers up on this location as well. We see more walls coming through for Kimo. The villagers will be able to clean up these cavalry up here. Not actually going to lose a villager there. So nice play from Shelty before the villagers come back onto the gold mine. Still pushing forward here. Still no hill fort, so no Huskal or anything to help deny this. But man, Kimo's so far in front. You see the double walls coming up over here as well. No walls on this town center, so clearly Kimo is going to be trying to funnel the rag heroes into this town center, utilizing the guard towers, ballista towers coming through, iron weapons coming through as well for Kimo. There's the frost. Nice play from Shelty in order to hit this one. Now the Son of Osiris is going to start taking some damage here with the help of the throwing axeman as well. Crenellations, flood control, Bowser towers, iron weapons. Shelty doesn't need to cast rag here though. There's no pressure on him to cast rag. He can just bank resources, set and then wait, and then set up potentially like a rag titan to push through all this. Or set up walls, towers, ballista like 10 minutes later. You will see that the Son of Osiris will fall here, so beautiful use of the frost from Shelty. Fire giants coming in as well. I mean, I think you have to take a guess. I think Kimo's store thinks he's further ahead than he actually is. If we check the post game out quickly, all resource total, he's in front by 4,000 resources ish, which is essentially almost full bronze, I guess, full bronze upgrades on the armor. And that's why Shelty is so far behind on that. That's where the resources are. We're seeing Winter Harvest, Bowsaw, Quarry, Fortified Town Centers, heavy infantry, coinage coming through now for Kimo. Where's his trade? He always does a really funny trade route. Like, market here going to this town center is not actually that bad. There's the market coming up. Let's have seven camel caravans. I honestly have no idea where oh, here it is. Okay, so it's actually a pretty decent trade route, but it's going to get cut off. So we see the market getting put in this location here. Now we see Shelty pulling back. He's still slightly behind, but he's just pumping the villages out. 89 villages. Needs to be careful not to overdo it. You see Jesus, a mummy coming in now. This is Kimo trying to force out a Ragnarok because these villagers not going to take down the mummy at all. He needs all the villagers off of the gold mine to take this one down if he wants it down. Now we're starting to see some priests come in for Kimo. The villagers have to retreat away. Now there's the Herso coming in to clean up the mummy. Maybe walls shouldn't be allowed to be built like this. There should be like a radius around them where they can't build another wall. What do you guys think? Now the throwing axeman pushing in. He does have the axeman to deal with here. Ballast is starting to come out. Shelty should be able to wall off the map a little bit more. Come up here and just wall in Kimo's walls. It's looking like Shelty's got a little bit of problems producing units here. He's trying to get all these upgrades out instead of units. Trying to make the baluster, but he doesn't have any walls yet. You don't really want to make baluster until you have walls because they're super weak. 102 HP on them. They do help take down the chariots really nicely, but if mercenary cavalry can get onto them, they just get picked off way too easily. Seeing Shelty attempt to stay alive here, it's just so difficult for him. 137 of 160 pop to 150 of 160 pop. More axemen coming in here. I think Shelty realizes he can't really click rag. We see architects coming through, another marker coming up. Shelty not in the best of places, but it is what it is. I've got fortified walls here for Kimo. Catapult's coming in to try and take down the hill fort. We'll be able to do so very, very quick. Baluster going after these chariot archers in the back. The Ulfjarl coming in. Not spamming these out too quickly. Looks like Shelty's lost a house as well in the meantime. More catapult coming in for Kimo as he's going to start slow pushing the Norse. Technically he shouldn't really be able to, but Shelty needs to set up some stuff. He's got so many villages, but no economy. And he's just falling further and further behind Kimo at this point. And Kimo's just like walls everywhere here. Would like to see Kimo through a wall up over here and around this as well. Just to quarter that map off, give himself a corner. Stop having such a crazy inefficient trade route. What's this got? 52 gold. Now the axeman pushing through, gonna try and snipe these Ulfsark here. Shelty's just got nothing. Citadel wall now coming through for Kimo. He doesn't care. He doesn't have signal fires though, that makes me sad. Now Ulfsark getting flooded, and now you have the Medjai mercenary. These stay alive for a very long time, so you can sort of spam them from this town center, but the town centers are really far away. So the amount of pushing power that Kimo actually has here is fairly limited. So if you're oh. I mean, I guess you could resign here. Like, the idea with Ragnarok late in the game like this is not to win the game. The idea is to set up your late game with it. Set up the walls, set up the towers. You got a rag with about 4,000 resources in the bank. and then you should be and then you play the game out. And like hitting side builds, these walls, while they look terrifying, a couple of portable rams with Dwarven Augur will push through these fairly quickly. It looks like Shelty's just had enough here in this last game after the grueling amount of time it goes in to play a best of 5. Finishing off the game with a game like this has got to be a little bit frustrating. Worst possible spawn oasis for him. No hunt. Didn't decide to eat his monkeys, which really did matter. Not able to hit any sort of timings onto the Kimo to slow him down. He's just like, Kimo just sat back, got all the economic upgrades. His barracks are out like crazy. All the economic upgrades were grabbed, and then he just powered in front and never took the foot off the gas. And Kimo does take the game. I'm going to be moving on to the finals. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.